There
There you go. No, don't stop.
Oh, sorry. I was.
That's okay. Oh, don't lose that. All right. Oh, hey guys.
You're still dreaming.
We're all back again. It's your good friend Pozzible here, along with Bucky.
Hello.
Frank.
What's going on?
Joe.
Morning.
And we're back with more of the summer previews. Today, we're talking about June. And what better way to talk about June than to finish off May?
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes. Now, I know it says June 7th. That's not the actual date. It's going for May 31st is the release of After Earth. That's always a good sign. You know, I have to admit.
That means the studio's happy with it, pretty much.
I get a little bit nervous about this because I know, you notice the poster here, they're trying to say Jaden Smith, Will Smith, they're posting this as a father-son movie. They're trying to avoid remembering that, hey, there's a director attached to this. A director who used to have a really good reputation, and then it just smashed with things like The Happening, The Village, Lady in the Water, what else? I felt bad for M. Night Shyamalan. I really had high hopes that
Shyamalan.
Him
Not
too.
Shyamalan. Yeah, they're brothers. One of them is brothers.
But I mean, let's focus on After Earth. Basically, it's after, the Earth has evolved to the point where we can no longer live here because the Earth is too busy fighting back. The birds are humongous. The apes are hostile.
Oh my gosh! I just realized.
And the weather gets cold.
I haven't seen Jaden Smith since he was in that one movie where it was the day before the day the Earth stood still. I can't remember the name of the movie though. But considering this movie's called After Earth. Is that a sequel to The Day the Earth Stood Still?
No.
Oh, he was in with
I think he was like
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
And,
I didn't know he was in that.
Who was the girl?
Oh, it was
Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly.
That's funny. Both of those movies have Earth in the title. And
yes.
It's like, I just find that funny.
No, I think this is several years. Remember, this is like 1,000 years after we left. And after 1,000 years, a lot of things have changed.
I'm sure in space they have some way to preserve aging.
Well, that's what Will Smith is doing here.
He does not look old. He's 40-something.
So it's got all the special effects. The verdict's very much out on this one. It's got Will Smith, and he's actually he's touch and go when it comes to movie. Jaden is still trying to find his acting legs and still trying to get into the acting world and be his own person. That's what I'm looking forward to for Jaden when he becomes his own person.
Oh, he's also the Karate Kid. I forgot about
that.
Jackie Chan.
Yeah, but I didn't care for that one.
Yes. Well, yeah, it was kind of interesting. He's the Karate Kid, but he's in China where he learns Kung Fu.
It was a ripoff of the original Karate Kid. I mean, you knew what was coming next because if you saw the original movie, the dialogue would be different.
I still liked it. I have to admit, they did change enough about it.
I didn't think it changed that much at all.
It was very much the same, but I still liked it.
The Hillary Swank version is always going to be the best.
No, we don't go there. Okay. But After Earth, I look forward. It would be nice if M. Night could have a comeback. This is one of his movies that is not his story. Yeah, he didn't write this one.
Nope, he did
so
not.
I got to give him. That's why I'm giving this somewhat of a chance. But we shall see. We shall see. Moving on, we got Now You See Me. This better be good.
Who made this one?
I have high hopes. Somebody whose name is right there at the bottom that you can't read it. They put all the stars in there. Now, of course, we got people like Jesse Eisenberg, Mark Ruffalo, Woody Harrelson.
Oh, but wait, let me interrupt you here.
Yes.
We know this movie is going to be good because of Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman.
Hot actress, yes.
And when those two stars are in a movie together, it's gold.
This one, the reason why I want to see this, of course, I expect the big twist. I expect the surprise. I really want to. It's not what you see. It's not the whole how did they pull off the heist. It's what are they really doing? What is this all about? And it better be good. I have high hopes for this movie here. Next up, The Purge.
That looks creepy.
Yeah, right. You know what gets me the worst about this is just first off, we're in a dystopia future, right? Things are at their worst. They're unemployment's at an all-time high. Food is scarce. There's problems here. There's problem there. But crime is also at an all-time low. And the reason why it's at an all-time low is because one night a year, maybe 2 nights, they allow the purge, which means people get to do whatever they want. All right? And but we had this rich couple. I love the funniest part was in the trailers where the rich couple's talking with their kid, and he's like, "Well, why don't we go out and kill somebody?" And they're like, "Well, we just don't feel like we have to." And then this one guy comes up, beaten and bloodied. He needs help, and the kid lets him in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, everyone's like, look, if you just let this guy outside, we'll leave you alone. So this becomes an ethical question. Let's talk about what you would do. All right? You're in this world where you know that for 12 hours, there's going to be no police, no hospitals, no community service, right? So people get to do whatever they want, right? Now, you like to lock yourself in your room, and you have a secured location, okay? Great, everything. And you can just wait the night out. Suddenly, this guy comes banging on the door. He's beating his bloody. He needs your help. What do? Joe, do you let him in, yes or no?
No.
Frank?
Nope.
Bucky?
If it's a guy, no.
Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, a little bit of sexism here. If it's a girl, Joe, would you let her in?
Probably not.
Frank?
She look hot, yes.
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 He's very hot.
Oh,
No, definitely.
Okay, she's hot, Joe.
All right, so maybe I'll change my answer.
Okay, she's ugly, Joe.
Yeah, she's on the curb.
Okay, Frank.
Hell no,
Bucky.
hot.
Well,
It's
civilization has to continue on.
okay. There you go. So, but now let's say somehow, some way, this person does find their way in, and now they're in your house. The other people come up. Do you first try to deny that he's even there? Be like, hey, he left.
Mm-hmm.
You know, didn't you see him? He went to the back. You know. But the real problem I have with this movie is that these what if movies often bring you to a scenario that you'll say, oh crap, I wouldn't have done that. My kid let this guy in. I would have kicked that guy out, put that kid over my knee, and just spanked the heck. Be like, you do not let people in when psychos are outside. You know? But you know, the ultimate problem with movies like this is that there's a movie that are trying to be something they're not. You know, they're really trying to be like, oh, you know, this is the way society is, this is the way people would act and type of thing. And I don't know, I just can't grab it. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully this thing will change my mind. But like with Epic, I got a bad vibe about this one. All right, now, guess where we're going, guys? We're going into June. Let's have some excitement here.
The heck is that?
This is our next category in June.
Weren't they just in a movie? Are these like the new power couple now?
Exactly.
We got Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson in The Internship. Okay.
Right. After the Wedding Crashers, they are now The Internship.
Is this a continuation?
Not really.
Okay, that'd be awesome if it was.
But let's face it, this is no different than any other movie they've ever made, where they're basically the lame white guys. You know.
Oh, that's racist.
It's true, though. I mean, you can't deny that. Because here they are. They're in their 40s. They have this big company. They have these big plans, and it all goes south. So where do they go? They go to Google. You know?
Okay.
And, of course, they're like all these people with experience and everything, but they have to deal with these really smart kids who are already ahead of where they want to be, you know? Even though technically, really, they don't want to be in Google. They want to be their own business people.
Yeah.
They just lost that opportunity. So they're just looking for what's next. And you know what's sad is that they dress like we do. I guess that's what gets me sometimes. Next up, Man of Steel.
Midnight, that one, man.
This is a big one a lot of people are talking about. Let me get your opinions. I'm planning on seeing it. Joe.
Absolutely.
Bucky.
I'm still divided right now because there are some things about the movie that I have a problem with.
He's not American, so he wouldn't understand.
No, not so much that.
Well, neither is Superman.
I am going to see the hell out of it because
I'm sorry. The biggest thing for me seeing the movie is Amy Adams as...
yes, Amy Adams.
She seems to have that part. She looks the part. She can do the part. She has the acting chops. I just don't like who they cast as Superman. But I may be surprised.
I'm gonna see it. I was reluctant at first because of Zack Snyder. You know how his movies are like 80% slow motion.
Yeah.
But I thought because Nolan came in and kind of guided him and gave creative input and stuff, I'm probably gonna check it out because Nolan had his hand on it.
You know, I'm looking forward to it. One thing I do not like is that a lot of people are trying to make Man of Steel the linchpin of DC success, okay? I don't know why The Dark Knight didn't do it. It was a huge success when that came out back in the day, the second Batman movie. And, you know, they want this one to be the launch for Justice League and stuff like that.
It would probably be about the 8th Batman movie if I'm counting right.
But they're not counting them at all. That's what gets me. They're saying that if Man of Steel succeeds, this could be the Justice League movie.
That's what I've heard. That's why, if that is true,
Yeah.
then I want Man of Steel.
So basically, Batman and Superman have been retconned, is what you're saying.
But no, I'm saying it's all up to Superman. Why didn't Batman do it, Christopher?
Because this is a job for Superman.
Apparently, yeah. It still gets to me. But however, I don't know if I'm going to like this or not. That's not what I want for this movie. I just want this movie to succeed so that we can have our Justice League movie. We can get the DC rolling on Marvel's level. And for the love of God, give us a Wonder Woman movie.
Get Joss Whedon, man.
Yeah, I want a Flash movie.
Flash movie. Aquaman.
Aquaman would be a good movie.
Yeah.
Dude, Aquaman sucks.
Oh, I know someone had to say that.
Not in Injustice, the video game.
Because Injustice,
he kicks ass in Injustice.
In Injustice, he's based off of the New 52 Aquaman.
But for a Wonder Woman movie, Lauren Graham, I'm looking at you. Fill the role.
The
Mom on Gilmore Girls.
Really?
Yeah. You know what?
Wow. Okay.
Back in the day, she could.
See that?
Yeah, she has that. Who played Wonder Woman? Who's the original Wonder Woman?
Linda
Linda Carter. She does resemble a little Linda Carter.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
but it's a substitution for experience.
Exactly.
Can't they use the digital now?
Yeah,
they can younger with Magneto and Xavier.
They
digitally made him younger.
Okay, I'll compromise. Put Lauren Graham's face on Lucy Lawless's body. There, win-win.
Lucy Lawless.
You know what? That would actually work. But of course, let's talk about the big rumors that we've heard before that we do not want. Number one, we don't want Megan Fox. We've seen the posters. No. And we definitely don't want
Beyonce.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
You know, I'm with Bucky on this one. I've seen Beyonce in movies, and I've seen her quote-unquote acting, if you can call it that. I use the term loosely. I'm sorry, Beyonce. Austin Powers 3 just didn't work. Sorry, lady. I do love you, though. I like your music. I think she's a great singer, but in terms of acting, yeah, not there. All right, next up. This is the end. You know,
I'm excited. I'll admit it right here.
The verdict is way out on this one because, you know, this could be either very good or this could be a huge mess. Okay, because basically we now have all these actors, and guess who they're playing? Themselves. And you're gonna have James Franco, Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, and the rest, and they are just playing themselves because they have a big party, and all of a sudden, it's the end.
We haven't determined what it is. Is it alien, natural disasters? We don't know yet.
No. If I'm watching the trailers correctly, it's everything.
Aliens
are invading. The world is breaking apart.
Aliens are causing natural disasters.
Exactly. Natural disasters. Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria.
Obama.
You know what I can't wait for? The one thing that I look forward to in this movie is Emma Watson.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently she plays her real root.
She plays Hermione.
She is trying very hard to get away from her Hermione, and there's another movie that she's in where she tries to get away from that, you know, that kitty innocence and stuff like that. Did you know that, and I don't have this, shame on me, the British, Simon Pegg and Nick...
They're doing that World's End.
The World's End. They're doing the exact same story, only it's in Britain now.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
You see, here's the one question. If the world ended in England, does anybody even notice? I mean, think about G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Tiny.
Yeah, they destroyed England with that big weapon of theirs, but I don't think anyone noticed.
Oh, there was an England?
Yeah, there was England. London just destroyed, but, you know, I mean, what? London Bridge was falling down. Well, we've been singing that for years, so what's the deal?
Yeah, but wasn't it you who wanted them to attack the Grand Canyon and drop a bomb on it?
Make it even deeper.
Yeah. You know, what do you think, Joe? This is the end. Have you even seen the trailer for this yet?
I haven't seen trailers. I mean, I like James Franco.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him in Spider-Man. I liked him in a couple other things.
Bucky, what's your opinion?
I'm actually curious about it because I also like James Franco, and he'd be my only reason to see it.
Mm-hmm.
The other actors I kind of see subpar, except for, of course, Emma Watson.
Right. The biggest problem I have with this movie is that ultimately we're back to the same interns joke of the lame white guys. This is what they do. However, Danny McBride did have a hilarious line in the trailers where Seth Rogen starts talking to him about what's happening, and he goes, "Well, that took some real chops there. Where was acting like that when you were doing Green Hornet?" You know? So I did like that.
That's one of the things. I'm going to be watching it also for the in-jokes that they have.
Exactly. Lots of it. So make sure...
I will say, I did laugh at the Red Band trailer for the movie.
That was hilarious, yeah.
So guys, take my advice. Before you watch this movie, make sure you catch up on who these guys are and what they've done, and expect a lot of the in-jokes and stuff like that. Moving on. Oh, here it is. The next Emma Watson movie, The Bling Ring.
Never heard of it.
Basically, this is supposed to be a dramatization of the kids back in the day who used to break into stars' houses and steal their stuff. Okay. Now, the one thing I hear, and Joe, don't get too crazy on me.
I've heard of it. But true, right? It happens.
Yeah, this
okay.
is true story.
I've heard of the.
But I mean, it didn't happen like this. Okay.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, movies like this, I have to admit, they have a certain charm to them. I think of movies like Warm Bodies, and I think of movies like Jennifer's Body, where basically they have this high school weirdness to them. Where they're intelligent, but they're also very childish. Okay, that kind of thing. And so it's so funny because there's one line and I haven't seen a preview, but I read it on IMDb, where the cops we're in touch with the victim. And the girl's like, really? What did Lindsay have to say? Because they just robbed Lindsay Lohan. And stuff like that. Emma Watson does play a stripper in this,
yes.
So I'm anxious to see what that's going to be
like. Wait. Big question. What's it rated?
We don't have a rating. Oh, rated R.
There, big.
Yep, big rated R. So I might give this one a chance. It's hard to say.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Okay, you caught me.
I guess I should check it out for my review. If I have to.
I do it for my.
R. Emma Watson playing a stripper. Gee,
yeah. Interesting.
I wonder if many guys are not gonna see it.
To be honest,
even I'm gonna see this one. I don't even go to movies.
And you know what? I have to admit, though, guys, if you're gonna see it because Emma Watson is a stripper, then you should not see it. You will be disappointed because let me tell you something. This is going to be kind of like
naked.
No, okay. This is like Lindsay Lohan in I Know Who Killed Me, where she's a stripper who keeps all her clothes on. That's what you can expect.
Or it could be something like Gwyneth Paltrow in Great Expectations.
Yeah,
the biggest cheese movie,
right? I agree completely.
Let's just take off. Oh, as a matter of fact, guys, to give you an understanding of what it's like, allow me to do a striptease.
Oh, yeah, video running on this.
You're not gonna see it.
When you end up looking like Emma Watson, then we'll talk.
No, I'm not getting a sex change. Okay, moving right along to
nothing wrong with that.
MU Monster University. Yes. You know what? Better than a sequel, better than a reboot. It's prequel. That's right. We're going back to when these two guys. I don't even remember their names.
You think they're gonna be hitting like the bong and like doing like the drugs?
Nah, I think it's gonna be the references
experiment that you do in college.
Panty raids.
There you go. The nerds, right? They do a panty raid.
Gotta have a panty raid. You know what? It's not college unless you have a panty raid.
I want to see a panty in the director's cut.
Yeah, I don't expect to see a panty raid. However, I do expect to see references to that effect.
Panty raid,
because they do have that kind of idea. You got this idea, and boy, talk about Revenge of the Nerds. The green-eyed guy, who I think is named Sid, and the blue guy is Sully, right?
I don't know.
It goes to show how long it's been, okay? That said, obviously, they're roommates, but they start off as competitors because Sully's very scary and Sid is not. However,
voiced by Billy Crystal and John Goodman.
Oh yes, and now they get in, Sid joins a fraternity, and stop me when this stops sounding like Revenge of the Nerds. He's the underdog. Yeah. He joins a fraternity of underdogs, and they go in and join this competition where not only could they die in the competition, Sid might actually be expelled. Expect lots of college references, jokes, the door. Will it be as good? I'm planning on seeing it. They do a great job. This is Pixar here. This is actually Pixar. Pixar has never fully let me down. Some have been good, some have been okay, but they've never been horrible. I've never left feeling, oh, that was a bad movie.
I want to see Pixar do like a rated R movie. What do you guys think? Like, would they ever venture into the PG-13 zone?
They can't. It's too late for them. They're too much into the kiddie movie. They would have to just take their group and sort of hold it
up. You kind of get a different picture in your head.
However, let's face one thing about Up. They did a better job. They had a great a better love story in the first 5 minutes than in the entire Twilight saga. So I gotta give that for Up.
Penny and Sheldon make a better love story than Twilight.
Exactly. Yeah, but I have to admit,
Twilight wasn't a romantic movie, I guess.
But I mean, Up was a classic. This one, I'm just expecting great things. One question about these guys, though: can reputation actually hurt you? Because, people, when they see Pixar, they expect such a high degree of excellence. That, I mean, like, I saw a movie like, I think it was Brave, which I thought was okay, but because it was Pixar, I left feeling a little disappointed because I expected more, I expected better.
Either way you felt, it still made a gazillion dollars, so it's a hit for that.
And it won the Oscar.
Exactly.
I mean, Up was a good movie, but was it Pixar good? And that's where you kind of get into trouble. You know what I mean? Up would have been phenomenal if anyone else had done it. Well, because it was Pixar, I kind of went in leaving a little left wanting because they didn't give me enough, All right, next up. The big one, Brad Pitt's World War Z. Here's the deal, guys. You all have to see this movie. Do you want to know why? It's because they ran over budget. Things got messed up. Yep. They had to reshoot 40 minutes of it. So they are way over budget. Support Brad Pitt. We don't want him and his family living in the poorhouse.
All his 10 kids.
Yeah, his 10 kids. See this movie. I have to admit, I haven't seen a trailer of it yet. I'm trying to avoid the trailer.
Yeah, same.
I actually bought the book, and I think I read like maybe the first chapter or so.
The book, it went so far away from the book that people are it got mad about that.
It's kind of like Jason Bourne. It's Bourne Identity, which is only in name only that it was the Bourne Identity. So that's a shame. I mean, let's face it. Zombie movies are a dime a dozen. You're trying to make your own movie, go for it. But don't take somebody else's title if you're not going to use them as a full source. That's all I got to say about that. It's a shame, but I'm still looking forward to it. I haven't seen a trailer or anything. I'm trying to avoid it. So we'll see if World War Z actually takes off in June. Next up, The Heat. Sandra Bullock, Melissa McCarthy. Okay. I'm just going to see it for Sandra Bullock.
She's still acting?
She's still acting. She's back.
Now
I'm not going to see it for Melissa McCarthy.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't this sound like a rated R miscongeniality kind of thing?
Was it?
I got a rated R Dragnet vibe from it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's face it, you got the same Dragon. Because let's face it, you got the same characters, right? You got Dan Aykroyd's straight-laced character. That's Sandra Bullock. Then you have the Tom Hanks wild character, which is Melissa McCarthy, even though she's more of a mean, badass. And let me tell you, she's doing anything that if she actually did that in real life, she would be so suspended.
Oh, fired even.
Yeah, fired, big time. I mean, you just don't talk that way to your fellow officers.
And with the exception of Bridesmaids, I'm sorry, I do not find her funny.
I have yet to see her in Identity Thief. Did you see it?
I get the impression that she ad-libs a lot of her lines, and I don't think that's working for her.
Like it's forced and stuff like that?
Something like that.
I will have to admit, I've never seen Melissa McCarthy in anything. If I have, I would have forgotten about it.
I mean, you've seen the trailers for The Heat, right?
Yes, I have.
It just seems like her lines are, ad-libbed.
Yeah, kind of forced, kind of, very angry and a little over the top. I'm still, like I said, I'm going to give it a shot just for Sandra Bullock. I would give it a shot to see just how they do the movie. But what do you think, Joe?
I'll probably check it out when it comes on DVD.
A DVD?
Yeah, I won't go into theaters for it.
I hear you. All right, what's coming up next? Okay, if you missed Olympus Has Fallen.
Is this G.I. Joe?
This is your chance for White House Down. Channing Tatum's return to G.I. Joe as somebody else. I mean, basically, we have... Now, don't get me wrong. If you saw Olympus Has Fallen, this is not the same movie. Because in Olympus Has Fallen...
It kind of has the same vibe.
But remember, in Olympus Has Fallen, the president has a son. In this movie, Channing Tatum has a daughter. So they're completely different movies. No, you pretty much get the same vibe. I have to admit, I finally saw a preview of it today. They're definitely going with the comedy aspect. Olympus Has Fallen was a thriller. It was exciting. It was suspenseful.
So Jamie
Here
Foxx,
they're going for comedy.
Jamie Foxx is the president.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx is the president, and Channing Tatum is the Colorado cop who goes to Washington, D.C. with his daughter to apply for the job.
Jamie Foxx being president?
Yeah, jury's out on this.
Yeah. Jamie Foxx, the next Electro and next year's Spider-Man, I have high hopes for him.
I saw a picture of him as Electro.
It looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, I don't like his Electro. I mean, I understand you can't go with the spandex and all that, but I just didn't like the way they went with the Ultimates look.
Right, and you know what? Sometimes I think that's a mistake. I don't like Ultimates. I didn't care for Ultimates because it's just a retelling of what we already knew.
But some of the looks they actually can pull off. Like Captain America, I didn't have too much of a problem with his Ultimate version.
Right.
Iron Man as well. I didn't really mind his ultimate version, and even Thor, who now had to goatee, I didn't mind. But sometimes they go too far.
The ultimate. Here's the biggest problem I have with White House Down. Ultimately, it's the director. I mean, this is the guy who did Day After Tomorrow. He did 2012. Roland Emmerich, and so this gives me kind of pause.
He did Stargate.
Okay, I'm not seeing it.
ID4.
Yes.
So Independence Day. So you got to think about.
I will give him Independence Day, but every movie since, and he also did 10,000 BC.
Let's not forget that. Yeah, Bucky does not like 10,000 BC. I actually saw it. I saw that movie taped from a TV show. So there's commercials in less than 30 minutes. Fast forward is a gift, people. And I just fast forwarded through that movie. I couldn't believe how stupid that movie got. It's just worse than dumb. I mean, the wicker people with bamboo armor, if you want to call it that, and the fact that her scars were like constellations. It's like, you know what?
That makes sense, dude.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? Give your audience credit. We're actually pretty intelligent, believe it or not. All right, guys, that's all for June. Can you believe it? So
I don't believe it.
I mean, there's more movies coming out. Sometimes I gotta wonder who's minding the story. Does anybody, when they start to make a movie, and somebody comes out and says, "Hey, over there, they're making the exact same movie." Does anybody ever stop and say, "Oh, well, then maybe we shouldn't"? Like they're doing Olympus Has Fallen. Well, then maybe we shouldn't do White House Down. They're doing The End of the World. Well, then maybe we shouldn't do This Is the End.
But then again, if people thought like that, we wouldn't have Armageddon.
How do you figure?
Because Deep Impact came first.
Yeah, but Armageddon was definitely the best.
Deep Impact was the more accurate of what would happen in real life. Armageddon was it, which I loved it. I love that movie.
I loved Armageddon.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But you know what? Those meteorite movies have been coming and going. I forget. There's that line that you can't copyright an idea. You can't copyright, a cop movie or a meteorite coming to Earth thing and sending astronauts to save us with technology we're not even close to having yet. That kind of thing. Yeah, you can't.
Like Tony Stark and his little. Never mind.
Well, that's a little bit different. I mean, that is a comic book. I mean, you're allowed to do anything in those movies.
But those lines that you're talking about.
Yeah, but you got to be careful.
I saw it. It's a line. It's huge. Sorry, old movie reference. Never mind.
So with that being said, guys, we'll see you in July's podcast.
Later.
Easy.
Sorry.